So if somebody verbally abuses you or accuses you of things that you didn't do, or is even physically violent, it doesn't mean, oh, I'm a Buddhist, I will not say anything back in return. People can do with me whatever they want. This is not the meaning. So you can protect yourself. You can set boundaries. I would say you should. It's quite important. So you could say, no, I didn't do this. Or you could say, no, don't talk with me like that. Or if you want to talk with me like that, go my own way. We can discuss later. So clearly you can protect yourself from that. Or you can get another person to join the conversation if a person is dangerous or violent, physically or verbally. Doesn't mean you have to put up with all of that. So in that sense, you can protect yourself. Or maybe in severe cases, well, maybe we don't meet anymore. Then I don't want to be around that person. That is all okay. There is no Dhamma principle that says you have to be the victim of other people's bad moods and have to endure whatever happens to you in all circumstances. Endurance means not getting angry. This is the most important part. So anger does not help anything. So if you can try to protect yourself from that situation, then that's justifiable nonetheless. Anger doesn't help much to solve the situation. But it doesn't mean that we just endure forever and don't change anything, and tomorrow the same is going to happen, the day after tomorrow the same. So yeah, sure, we can set boundaries or give people a warning, next time you do the same thing, there will be consequences. It can be with children, can be with friends, can be with a spouse, depends on the person, can be even on the workplace. Setting boundaries and then living with that. And then, of course, when people have said or done something, how do we deal with that? Of course, first we try to speak with them and try to make them understand. Maybe they do appreciate, or maybe they do recognize, oh yeah, okay, I see, I made a mistake. That is one possibility. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't acknowledge their fault. Maybe they never see their wrongdoing. Can also happen, right? So then you try to change or rectify the situation, it didn't work. Now you have two options. Either for the rest of your life you harbor resentment and anger and bitterness towards that person. Actually, who will suffer? Who will suffer by having a lot of resentment, anger and bitterness? He or you? Ourselves, right? The other person sometimes doesn't even know. Might have long forgotten about the incident already. In our heart there's still this salty feeling. So this is the first option. Or option B, we forgive the person. We forgive, we understand, okay, well, that's his own or her own conditioning. That's why he spoke or chose to do like this or like that. Maybe due to her own childhood experience, or maybe some problems in her own family. That's why she is a bit rude today, or whatever it is. And then we forgive that person. Yeah, probably you're not an arahant. So it is to be expected that people are not always perfectly kind and perfectly full of compassion and loving kindness. So we give people the right also to have faults and mistakes, defilements. Like most of us, I guess also, right? So we should expect from time to time that people will misjudge or mistreat or be impolite. That's normal part of life. If you expect that should never happen, it's not realistic, right? That expectation, never this should happen again to me. Who says so? Being born in the world as a human being, you are entitled to a fair degree of suffering. Also to happiness, of course. But nobody lives in this world without, from time to time, being misjudged, or being mistreated, or being spoken to impolitely. So yeah, it's part of life. So yeah, you're entitled to that. And of course, we deal with it as good as we can, politely, mindfully, with understanding, with wisdom, with forgiveness. Because as I said earlier, by not forgiving, by holding a grudge, by being resentful, we are the ones who suffer the most. You're not doing anyone a favor. There's another sutta where the Buddha says, when you suffer, it's not good for you, And also your friends, family, none of them like to be around you. None of them like to see you suffering, right? Nobody wants to see each other suffering. But actually there is one type of people who like to see you suffering. Your enemies. If you have enemies, they would be happy to see you suffering. So by being resentful and having grudges, it doesn't benefit anyone except your enemies. So if you want to do your enemy a favor, take everything very personal and get really angry and resentful. That's what your enemies like to see. But it's not good for you. Not your family will not enjoy that either. Your real friends won't. So nobody benefits from that. So then why? So forgiveness is a very good remedy for letting go of that. It doesn't mean we agree with the person. Some people think, if I forgive him, then he gets away with it. No. The law of kamma, remember, the lump of salt, the law of kamma will remember. Even a trifling bad action done by a bad person, he will get his results. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, it's a very fair system. So we don't have to help the law of kamma do its job. It's doing its job already. You don't have to teach that person a lesson either. The law of kamma will find its way to give him a fair and just result, what we call 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗲, the fruit of his or her actions. We keep our mind wholesome, we can protect ourselves, prevent getting the same situation next time, if you want, or set a clear boundary, but then we move on with our life. No need to harbor resentment. And forgiveness is a very helpful tool for letting go. Forgive and forget, as Bhante usually says. Yeah, I think that's what I meant during that exposition.